Today's episode is sponsored by the elite of rice.
Oh.
Have a guess.
Oh, it's got to be Tilda.
It's absolutely Tilda. The perfect match for basically everything I eat.
Yeah.
Jalfrezi, tandoori, madras.
Okay, so curry.
Boonas, kormas, tikkas.
All right. You're salivating there, Jimmy.
Sorry, yeah. I was going on a bit, wasn't I? But I do love curry.
Yeah, we do eat a lot of curry. But cooking rice is a fine art. And you, specifically, can either make enough for an army or ruin it completely.
All right, let's not dwell on past mistakes, Claire. The point is that Tilda knows what they're doing. Their basmati is aged for up to 18 months, and they remove any broken grains to make sure you get the perfect rice every time.
Wow, that must take a while. Whether it's Mexican, Chinese, or anything in between, if it needs rice, they've got you covered.
And did you know that they mill around 16 billion, with a B,
Wow.
grains a day in their UK facility? 16 billion. That's double the amount of people on planet Earth.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Right, so basically, they're rice experts.
The rice experts.
Well, clearly you are as well.
I know my rice. I've got plenty of rice facts.
Right, and here's something useful. Their boil in the bag range means that even you, Jimmy, my boy, can nail the perfect portions every time.
They've got all the know-how to stop us
Well, yeah.
from making rice disasters.
So, if you want to elevate your plate, choose Tilda Rice.
Tilda, they're the rice guys. If I could go back and do it all over again, I'd do it exactly the same. I wouldn't change a single thing. Everything's pretty much worked out for Buckley.
You wouldn't interfere with your younger self?
I wouldn't, no.
Anywhere you go.
Interfere with my younger self, no. What's the rules about that? Can you do me on that? Because we'll be in our little house in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. I like
Keeping
it.
ourselves to ourselves. We'd have built a couple of annexes on some land.
Oh, okay.
The boys can come and go. They can be in there.
Yeah.
Or if they're off doing
Have
their
like a
own
little
thing.
family compound where nobody has to leave.
Yeah, that's
We'll all
it.
wear bonnets.
That's it. I'd love to be in a room with those guys. I'd sit there and go, I like your boots.
Yeah.
I like those socks that you wear. You got those trousers that just go past your knee.
Little buckles there.
Yeah.
Shiny, ain't ya? Fucking stealing the Buckley's beers. Are we rolling? Somebody nicked one of your beers out the fridge on Spotify.
Genuinely annoyed.
But what? You don't need
Well,
to be
yeah,
annoyed. I've got an old one.
Well, yeah.
Not from like last week or anything. I'm not that desperate. Okay, we did a double today, all right? It's 2 episodes in one. But that's not going to do. You're going to have to share. I need my podcast juice.
Shall we start this
I
podcast?
don't know if I can.
I'm sorry, Claire, but we still got to do the podcast. We've still got to be professional, haven't we?
Don't know. Can Mariah Carey sing a song without a mic?
Probably.
Can I do a podcast without a beer?
Probably not. But you got some there.
Unbelievable.
That'll do you. Okay.
Excuse me. I'll fucking decide.
Welcome to the Buckleys,
When I've had enough.
the podcast where we sit down, have a
Smash
chat, moan
those
a bit,
plates up.
and invite you into our lives. Before we get into it, we just want to remind you that you can get in touch with your stories and questions for us by emailing thebuckleys@platformmedia.uk, or you can message us at the Buckleys Pod on Instagram and TikTok. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to the show on Spotify or whatever podcast app that you like to use. And if you do enjoy the show, why not leave us a little 5-star review? That'd be ever so nice. Claire,
Yo.
we're here.
Yep.
We're doing it.
Yep.
Episode 23, Claire. How many more of these have we got in us? 4?
24.
Yeah. What's been going on in our lives this week? Well, not a lot.
No. Well, I just told them we did a double, so
We
we've
do,
not
yeah,
left since last week.
Yeah.
So
We
nothing. I
stopped-
went to the toilet.
We stopped making the last podcast 5 minutes ago. So in our defence, not
If
life.
this is rubbish.
We haven't done a lot of life in between the
Not been
the
a lot
last
of
2
living.
episodes there. But I will tell you something, Claire, that
Go
we've
on.
got to talk about. Claire, you found a statistic.
Did I?
You know I love statistics.
Oh, yes.
Talking about how much money different generations have spent on alcohol.
And I think I've just proven the point
Well,
there.
yeah, that's
with
it.
how annoyed I got.
Absolutely. The source was Lad Bible.
Lad Bible.
Did Lad Bible actually do...
I bet they do. They're quite big now. I
Yeah,
bet
but-
they've got like teams who...
Yeah, but they're good at sort of like seeing something on the internet and going, right, we can
Yeah,
repost
yeah,
that
yeah.
and make
There's a
that
lot of
into a
you
thing.
on Lad Bible.
Of course there is.
A lot of you
I'm a big
on Lad
fucking
Bible.
deal. But I don't know whether
You're a big girl.
I'm a big deal.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nothing against girls.
Nothing against women. I don't know whether they send people out and do the
I
research and
wouldn't be
stuff.
surprised, but that's
I don't know.
interesting. Yeah,
I don't know.
don't know.
What different generations have spent on alcohol?
Yes, money. And is
Yes.
this in? How long is it over? Does it say? Is it a year?
No, I think it's just the lifetime that they
Lifetime.
spent. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So the generation of the boomers,
Now that's our parents and grandparents.
they spent $25.09 billion on alcohol.
Okay.
Gen X, $23.14 billion.
That is the generation before us.
Yes.
Yeah. We're millennials, right?
Yes. Millennials, 23.45 billion.
Right.
So we've already taken over the Gen X.
Of course.
Because we're fucking lads, aren't we?
Yeah.
Gen Z, 3.13. Barely spent 3 billion. They're so boring, Gen Z. They're so fucking sensible
I
and
know.
boring.
Come on, drink up.
You gotta take a drink.
Take a drink.
No, to be fair, Gen Z have only been 18 for about 10 years.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure what. And again, Lad Bible didn't really give us that much information.
But anyway, we're winning.
But
That's the point.
Well, not really. Boomers are winning.
They had to bring us up, so can't blame them.
Gen Z. What do Gen Z people do? Because all there was just drinking.
At the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have enough imagination to see past that.
But look at us though. Look how many places we take our kids.
Yeah.
They've got this. They're doing ice hockey. They're doing music.
And what's the
they're
first thing I always ask whenever we have to take our kids somewhere?
Do they sell booze?
Can you get a pint?
But what I'm saying is they're much more.
We've recently got into ice hockey.
Yeah, go on to Chieftains.
Chieftains! The first thing I said, we'd never been to a game before.
We hadn't.
And the first thing I said to you was,
Get middle of a bar.
You'd be able to get a pint there, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And you can.
And you can.
Gen Z, got a lot to learn. Got a lot to learn. And for a bunch of know-it-alls, they are a bunch of idiots, aren't they? No, they're great. They're good. I love Gen Z.
Nobody in here is Gen Z.
I love
You're
Gen
Gen
Z.
Z. Yeah.
I love them. I love Gen Z because they blame millennials for everything for some reason. Whereas I want to say to Gen Z, how many millennials do you see in any position of power or anything? Zero.
All the millennials have got a
We've had-
podcast.
we-
That's
our-
what we're all doing.
Our generation.
That's what we're all doing. We're drinking on podcasts, all right? Keep up.
Our generation, millennials get blamed for everything. They're this, they're that, da, da, da. We've been in absolutely no position to make any kind of change or decision. It's all still boomers and Gen X that are still, and they're drunk all the time, it turns
Clearly.
out.
Yeah.
So listen, Gen Z, millennials, us guys, we should.
Oh, no, they're too annoying.
They are irritating, aren't they?
Too annoying.
Claire, I've got a very quick moan for you this week.
Just a quick one.
Just a quick one this week. It's just quite a general one. I feel like it's been building to this, to be honest.
Oh.
Have you heard of the internet?
Yes.
Heard of the
Oh,
internet?
no. And I'll tell you why, because I saw it on Catchphrase.
The World
Wide
Web. Absolutely. I just want to moan about the internet
Sure.
because I feel like
What
that's
could possibly be wrong with the internet?
because of the internet. I think I can get 6-pack abs in 4 weeks.
Right.
I'm convinced I could make a beef Wellington. And even though I have absolutely no skills at all whatsoever, no educational skills, no practical skills, no life skills, I'm pretty bloody sure I could buy a dilapidated, run-down house for £1 and completely renovate it by myself and sell it for about £10 million. I can become rich through Pokemon cards.
Right.
I can get a more defined jaw by sucking on a bottle of frozen water. I know how to shoe a horse for some reason, Claire. Been watching lots of that recently. I know that I need a Japanese kitchen knife that can cut through a battleship. Apparently, I've definitely got ADHD. And that's not just from symptoms that I've seen online, but from a few people that comment on our content. I'm going to die because I don't eat enough meat. I'm going to die because I eat too much meat.
Right, yeah.
The socks I wear aren't politically correct.
What socks do you wear, Jim?
I don't know, but someone must have died or something, so I could wear these socks or something.
Okay.
I don't know. I just buy socks. Leave me alone.
Us millennials don't give a fuck, do we?
I'm killing the planet from breathing too much, but it doesn't matter because the world's about to end in a nuclear war. And that is all my thoughts about the internet.
Okay.
Just wanted to let you know, which does bring me, just a quick moan, that one. I wrote everything down because I didn't want to go off in any tangents
I
or
saw
anything
you
like that.
reading that, yeah.
I just wanted to keep my thoughts succinct. I didn't want to turn into a rambling idiot.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you everything that I'm struggling with at the moment.
Okay.
Which does bring me nicely on to the next section of our podcast, which is the algorithm. Play the algorithm theme tune.
Algorithm, what's on your algorithm?
So, Claire, let me quickly tell you what the algorithm is feeding me this week.
Let's hear it.
I am getting tons and tons of videos showing me how to use a stainless steel pan without the food sticking to it. It is constant.
Well,
It is constant.
I mean, handy.
I know that you have to get it hot enough so that sprinkles of water dance around the surface.
Okay.
Have you seen these?
Yeah.
Then you know it's ready because the water's dancing.
Yeah.
You got to look for that. You got to look for the dancing.
Right.
Because an egg will then have a layer of steam between it and the surface of the pan and it won't stick. Science. So you make sure that the water's dance around the pan. You know that the egg's not going to stick then.
Yeah.
Do I own a stainless steel pan?
No, we
No.
don't, do
If
we?
I did own a stainless steel pan, Claire, would I use it?
No,
Probably not. I'm thinking of getting a stainless steel pan.
of course you are.
I think I might get
Of course
one.
you are. I'll tell you what, social media has now become somewhere where you can buy stuff. Like, not just like, she's using that and that looks really good. I love that.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
But you can like click on shit
Yeah.
and it takes you straight to a thing and it's like, buy it.
Yeah,
And
it
I'm
takes
like,
you to the website.
yeah, but it's so easy though.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Especially, I'll tell you the worst thing I ever did for myself.
What?
The worst thing. And it's down to people who watch your vlogs.
I think I know what you're going to say.
What?
Are you going to talk about that shop?
No.
No.
That
because-
is bad.
Yeah. So when I buy something now, it doesn't matter if I've never been on the website before. All my details, I click on that shop. All my details are there. I go,
Yeah.
don't have to put my address.
How
don't
do
have to
you
put the
know?
credit card in.
But
don't have to,
cool, yeah, it makes life easier.
Yeah.
So who cares who's watching, who's writing it down.
Yeah.
But there was a At Home with the Buckleys vlog once, and it wasn't too long after COVID, and I went to Starbucks with cash,
Right.
like a fucking idiot, as if money can
Like
get
a
you
boomer.
anything. Yeah, like a fucking old person who doesn't know what's going on. I tried to give her a tenner, and she was like, "Yeah, no, we can't take cash." And I went, "Okay." Didn't have my purse with me. I just had a tenner in the car, and she gave me it.
Oh, she gave you it.
She gave me it because she was like, well, I'm going to have to throw it away anyway. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, well, I can fucking do this every week then. And then everybody in the comments of our YouTube channel was like, why don't you have Apple Pay on your phone? Apple Pay, Apple Pay, Apple Pay.
Yeah.
I caved,
But
I
listen,
got it,
Yeah.
and now it's ridiculous because I'm the person who has to go and get my card and put in the card.
Yeah.
No, it's just a double click.
Yeah, you double click.
And I'm
looks at your
away.
face, you're off.
But that to me is so dangerous because I don't feel like I'm spending money.
No, that's the point. That's the whole point. You don't want to feel like you're spending money. You just want to feel happy. You just want to get that rush.
Yeah. But on a day like that day, it was the morning, I dropped the kids off at school and I think we were going into London. So it was like, I was driving back, I had a tenner in the car and the little bit in the middle.
You'd be lucky to get a coffee for that for a tenner these days, Claire.
But it was like, oh, we don't take cash. And I was like, did I miss a huge fucking neon sign that said you can't use cash here?
Yes. Yeah, the lizards. They said.
Okay.
They said. Don't let them use.
That's
They
nuts.
must use. It won't be long until we're all using credits. That'll be 12 credits, please.
And it comes off your life.
Yeah.
You seen that film?
That Timberlake film. No,
yeah,
but I've
Justin
seen.
Timberlake.
I've seen reels. I've seen
Yeah.
clips of it.
You have to give up time to buy
Yeah.
stuff.
And doesn't he win like $1 billion worth of time or something?
Yeah, he gets in with some rich guy.
Yeah. Claire, let's take a minute to let's take a minute to gather ourselves because I think we've gone off topic ever so slightly. The theme of this week's episode is eras. Is that right? Eras. That's it.
Eras.
You happy with that? You pleased with yourselves? Proud of that one. Don't, yeah, shrug your shoulders.
Look
Don't
at
worry
it.
about it.
Just throw a fucking word at us and expect us to
Yeah.
come up with shit.
Yeah.
Eras.
What should we do? Eras. That was the conversation in the office, wasn't it? We're going to talk about eras, whatever the fuck that is, in a second. Right, to be fair, I was slagging this off, eras. But these are... these
See
are,
what happens when we actually look at what they've written down.
These are conversations that we've genuinely had.
We have these all the time.
Because obviously the type of clothes that we like, the type of music that we listen to, and I think every generation, because now our kids say things like,
I wish I was born in the 90s.
yeah.
I wish I grew up in the 90s.
Yeah, which is bizarre.
Harrison says that constantly.
And 90s fashion is becoming...
Well, it's all back in,
it's
isn't
all
it?
back in, and people have, all these bloody what are they called? Zias. They've discovered Rachel's hair and stuff.
Yeah. Well done.
But I think every generation is guilty of being like, God, it was so much better before we were here.
Mate. I mean, I know when I would want to be born, when I would grow up.
Yeah, I guess.
And I'd be gone by now.
I guess we would want to be living it. So I guess born in the 50s.
Correct.
And then sort of...
early 50s. Early 50s.
Yeah, or even late 40s.
Being a kid in the 50s.
So spending your 20s in the...
Teenager, 20, like 18, 19, 20 odd in the 60s. Getting the end of the 70s. Getting the 70s in your 30s and 40s.
Now, we've always said that. We've always been like... We've had conversations where we've been like, oh, God, the music was so much better. Look how cool everyone was. And it was so great. Wouldn't it be great if we were... if it was 1967 and we were 23 at the time, right? But then we spoke about it further and we were like, I bet we'd still be like, God, the 40s were so good.
Yeah.
Look at the style and the music and the...
These fucking... Look at these four idiots.
Yeah, singing
Call
Love
this
Me
music.
Do and stuff. This is nonsense.
Yeah, we would, yeah. There's some people you can't please, James.
Yeah, and that's us.
Absolutely.
That's definitely us.
Absolutely.
Going to see... I mean, who would you go and... Like, just music-wise.
Do you know what I mean? Everybody.
The Beatles, The Who, The Stones.
David Bowie.
Imagine seeing Bowie.
Fucking hell.
In his pomp during sort of Ziggy Stardust and all that. That'd have been amazing.
I know, mate. But again...
Going into a Wimpy.
Oh, no, we still had a Wimpy.
Yeah, I still...
But...
There was a Wimpy on the Dagenham Heathway.
There was a Wimpy in the garage.
Right.
The bowling alley / nightclub.
Did you get those sausages that were sort of circle?
No.
They were like sausages, but they were like cut slightly. They were like fractured. So they were like split so that they could go round in a circle.
No.
The Bender Burger.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, absolutely. Of course it was the Bender Burger. How could I forget that? What? It was a different time, Claire.
What?
It was a different time.
Yeah, you couldn't get away with that with Gen Z. Look, he's having a heart attack over there right now because you said that.
But I think you're always guilty of filtering, aren't you?
It's the grass was always greener, wasn't it?
Yeah. When I look at the 60s, it seemed like just such an exciting time.
Here's an
But then you forget about all the wars and all the...
Well, yeah, we're not talking about that.
No. I'm just having...
I know.
Just building on the discussion.
No, I know, you're right. But here's an interesting thing, right? So I remember when I was about 14, 15, that's when I really got into the Beatles, right? And I remember talking to my gran and granddad, and he obviously was there when the Beatles came about, and his group of friends, obviously. He was like, we didn't like the Beatles.
Yeah.
They were like One Direction for them. It was these like teeny boppers who all the girls loved, and they thought it was a load of shit.
Yeah.
Obviously then later on, now my papa was never like a Beatles fan. He was Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and all that.
Rat Pack.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, there you go. You go further back. There you go.
Well, not even. Imagine like them in the 60s in Vegas.
We quite like if we're having like a proper Friday or Saturday night at home.
Why do I feel like this is going to embarrass me?
No. We're always putting on like old videos of Elvis performing and Dean Martin performing. Yeah. And we're always sitting there just going, imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine that. And then you turn on the Brits.
I know.
Some fucking little blonde lassie that you've never fucking seen. Don't know who the fuck she is.
It is like, And I know it's difficult to be objective, but we can be objective because I genuinely think that we've done a deep dive into music and gone, this is probably where music was really, really great.
I agree.
There was still some, and listen, I love 90s Britpop and all that stuff.
That was a great era.
That was really great for about 4 or 5 years. That was really brilliant. But I think on the whole, I do love lots of music. There's lots of 80s music that I love, loads of 80s bands, but I do go like, it's probably 65 to 75 if I could just sit in there.
Right.
Whereas like kids today, like you say, when you look at the Britpop and stuff, I just want to go, it's all just fucking advert music.
Well, that's
this
it.
This could all be in the background of a car advert
the
or something
only
like
reason
that.
I know 90% of songs right now is because they're on the background of Instagram videos.
Yeah, that's how I'm introduced to a lot of pop music.
Yeah.
I do have a romanticised opinion of the bygone era, I suppose.
Well, let's get into some of the little talking points we've got here. Are there any... Obviously, we went straight to music, right? But
I just think that's
music aside.
Thing,
music aside. Well, I mean, we'd go back and watch Wayne Gretzky play for the LA Kings these days. That would be our dream.
Well, the only problem is that the Chieftains wouldn't exist. That would be a problem.
And that would be a problem for us. Yeah.
You know me, Claire. I'm a big Chieftains fan.
Yeah, we'd bleed and nothing would come out.
Imagine if I didn't have the Chiefs in my life.
Anyway, is there any historical figure that we would love to meet face to face, and who do you think would be the most interesting to chat with? Why are you laughing when I'm trying to be serious?
It's like the dinner question.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the dinner question, but just asked slightly differently.
That's a podcast. It's the same shit every week.
Who would I like to meet?
But historical figure. Like dinner guest, we went to, George Harrison and whatever. Historical figure makes me think, I mean, there's only one person I'm thinking of.
Scipio Africanus. That's what you were going to say, wasn't it?
No.
No?
Wallace.
Oh, William.
Oh, Willie.
Oh, Bill Wallace.
Yeah. Like historical figure, I still think way back.
No, well, that's where I went with mine as well.
Right, okay. Who?
Scipio Africanus.
Who's that? I don't know.
He won the war against Carthage. The Carthaginians.
Okay.
Fantastic. Absolutely.
Is that who you would want to meet face to
Punic
face?
Wars. I don't know. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of sort of Roman Empire people I'd like to meet.
Well, you're only a man.
Punic Wars, Grecian. Could I go back that far?
You can go wherever you want, son.
I don't know. There's lots then. So I'd like to be in the room when they're talking about the Declaration of Independence.
Right.
The American.
Yeah.
They were smart. They were clever people.
Surely we need to switch that up a wee bit now, though, to sort of fit in with the new times.
And they already thought of that.
Oh, did they?
They in that document that they wrote up, which was to throw away tyranny, right? Get rid of these people bossing us about. They also put in there little rules to be like, and let's not forget, in a few years' time, this might have to happen again.
Right.
And that's where the right to bear arms comes, which means if you need to overthrow a government, if people are taking the piss a bit too much, if the people aren't being served and only a few people, which might sound familiar, I don't know.
No.
If there's only a few people that seem to be benefiting from the system at the moment, we might need to go, right, let's fucking have a little ruck here.
Let's do it. Gloves off!
But imagine that. Imagine having the foresight to be that clever, to be like, this might not be perfect, by the way, what we're writing now. We're trying to do our best. So let's keep evolving. Let's keep making changes. Let's always make sure that the people are being looked after. And it's not,
right on.
It's not, the other way around.
Okay.
And I'd love to be in a room with those guys.
Really?
Yeah. I'd sit there and go,
so you got
your
a bit
wigs
too
look nice.
serious there. Yeah.
I like your boots.
Yeah.
I like those socks that you wear. You got those trousers that just go past your knee.
Little buckles there.
Yeah.
Shiny, ain't ya? Yeah. I was more sort of like freedom.
And I'd
like we were on horses.
I'd play some Hendrix on the guitar for them and stuff.
Oh, there's a thing.
You're not ready for this, but your kids will be.
Yeah, there's a thing. if you could be Mr. Somebody,
Yeah.
right? If you could go back in time and be like, right,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to be Mr. Coca-Cola. I'm going to be Mr. Facebook. I'm going to be... Who would you
Oh.
be?
Well, I said this to
What
you
would
the
you
other
come
day.
up with?
I said this to you the other day. I'd go back to 2007
Mm.
because I went to you. I looked it all up, and again, you know me with maths. I always do the maths.
Yeah.
And I said, if we'd invested $1,000
Yes.
into Bitcoin
Yeah.
in 2007, it worked out to be nearly worth $7 billion today. In
That's
less than
unbelievable, innit?
20 years.
That's unbelievable.
So that's what I would do. If I could get into a time machine and go back and do
Yeah.
something.
Just buy some Bitcoin.
Because it used to be, I'd invent Facebook quickly or something.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah, I'd put $1,000 in Bitcoin
My God.
and you'd have nearly 7 billion.
7 billion.
Which makes me think there's got to be something not
It can't be
right
right.
about it. Yeah.
We're too pessimistic for that. That can't be right. Right, what about the future then?
The future.
Because we can all talk about the past.
Well, I've got a very specific idea of my future.
Oh, God. Am
What?
I in it?
Yeah, you're very much a part of it. And that's the problem. I don't like this attitude because I've put a lot of work into the future that I want.
Okay.
Worked really hard to try and make sure that we end up where we want to end up. And you are in it, which is why one of my biggest fears in life is when you go fucking off you go, mate.
I'm off.
On your toes. Because that would
Mess
everything
up the plan.
everything that makes sense to me would just disappear.
Right. You go back to eating Pringles and peeing in empty water bottles.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, go on. What's the future then? 25 years? Where do we see ourselves?
25 years. Me,
What
you,
age will we be in 25 years?
63.
Oh, no.
What? Why are you saying oh no?
Oh, just so old, innit? What we doing? What we're going to be doing?
We'll be fine.
Where will we be?
We'll be in our little house in the middle of nowhere,
Okay. I like
keeping
it.
ourselves to ourselves.
I like it.
We'd have built a couple of annexes on some land.
Oh, okay.
The boys can come and go. They can be in there.
Oh, yeah.
Or if they're off doing
Have
their
like a
own
little
thing.
family compound where nobody has to leave.
Yeah, that's
We'll all
it.
wear bonnets,
That's it. Yes.
milk our own cows.
Yeah.
And the wives will come in and we'll be like, if you don't like it, you can leave.
I'll have 12 wives.
See what happens.
We'll pray. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, in 25 years' time. Listen, here's our future, Claire.
Okay. Oh, God.
We'll be pretty much doing what we do now, okay?
Right.
Because we've got the perfect life. We really do. We really, really do. It'll be curries. Every now and again, we'll go away for the weekend.
Do you think in 25 years we'll still have to order a curry? Or do you think there'll be like a button?
Like a replicator from
Yeah.
Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yeah. Like a vending machine where you press a button and it
You
just
say,
comes out.
say king prawn, please.
Cheeseburger.
Mm.
Yeah. Imagine that. And then you
go.
go, that's how simple we are.
Yeah, maybe.
25 years, I'd be
Yeah.
happy with that.
That'd be it. That'd be it.
Yeah.
The only thing that will be different in our lives...
Hoverboard.
Well, maybe. The hoverboard.
Maybe the
might be
woolly
right.
mammoth will be back.
Hopefully. Fucking hell. They've been cock teasing us with that for the last 30 years. No, we just won't be doing this.
Great.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. We've got an almost perfect life. If we could get this out the window.
Working for a living.
Yeah.
Okay, now, if you had a chance to meet your younger self,
Mm.
what advice would you share? I saw this was actually a trend on social media recently.
Right.
I didn't quite get it, I'll be honest. People were putting up videos being like, today I met my younger self for lunch. And I'm like, why do you have to be so fucking dramatic about it? Why don't you just... Because I was like, what? But apparently it's just like a younger self thing. Like, what
Yeah.
would you say? And they're all like, don't worry about that. It'll all work out. And I was like, right, okay.
Mm.
Again, I'd be like, buy some
To be
Bitcoin.
fair, I'm going to be even more dramatic.
Oh, Lord. Okay, go on.
If I saw my past self, I'd avoid me. I'd avoid me. And I was saying this to you the other day, actually,
Go on.
which is quite a sweet thing to say. If I could go back and do it all over again, I'd do it exactly the same. I wouldn't change a single thing. Everything's pretty much worked out for Buckley. It should not have gone this well.
Okay. But you would buy some Bitcoin though, wouldn't you?
No, if I could go back in time and buy some Bitcoin, but if I saw, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't interfere
I
with your
wouldn't
younger
interfere- I
self.
wouldn't- no, I wouldn't.
You've never done
I
any where you
wouldn't
go,
interfere with my younger self. No. What's the rules about that? Can you do me on that? Because
Because it's me.
It's me, isn't it? You know, can't do me for nonsense or anything. But no, I wouldn't interfere in whatever way
Oh, I
with
would.
my younger self.
I would say, don't do that. Don't waste your time there. Do this.
Yeah, but
You know,
all
whenever
those
they,
things-
you know, whenever they put you off for doing that, fuck them. Go for it.
Yeah, but everything that happened got you on this path. You change one of those things, and
Exactly.
then there's no. All right, but I know what you.
Exactly.
All right, I know what point you're trying to make. Oh,
No,
yeah,
I'm not trying to make.
because I wouldn't be with you. and
No,
that'd be
I'm not
great.
trying to make
All right,
that point.
But then you're not with me. There's no such thing as Jude.
I know you were going to
There's
say
no such
that.
thing as Harrison.
I know you were going to say that. I wasn't making a point about you. All right?
Okay.
I was just saying, like, for me personally, little things that you wanted to do
Yeah.
or didn't want to do and
If
people
you-
made you do or stopped you
If
from
there's
doing.
stuff if there's stuff you want to do, there's still time to do it. You can always do it.
Ah,
Exactly. And the mistakes, I genuinely believe this. All the mistakes, all the things that you wish you hadn't done, they're all
Led you.
they're all there. They're all there for a reason.
yeah, that's true. That's probably true. Oh, hold on. You don't have this. I've got some breaking news before we move on.
Breaking news. Hang
Yeah.
on, one sec.
No, I do. Breaking news for Claire to read
Mm.
before we move on to today's feature. Apparently, we had a woolly mammoth clear up from a listener.
Right.
Now, if anybody knows anything,
It's our listeners.
it's the people who listen to this.
Mhm.
So, this is from Josh. We're going to quickly squeeze this in. Josh says, it's not currently possible to recreate extinct species,
Mhm.
but with technologies evolving like CRISPR, which is a gene modifier, we're close to developing an artificial womb in which to grow a gene-altered elephant. So although it will be close to the woolly mammoth, it won't be
Mm.
a woolly mammoth.
Right. Well, stop reporting it that you're bringing back the woolly mammoth thing.
Well, I don't think it's Josh. I think he's just trying to help
Also,
us.
they have to say that, don't they? Because
Oh, so Josh said we. Are you a scientist? Or are you just been reading
no, I think
the Daily Mail?
I think he's doing that thing of we beat you 3-0 last night.
So there you go. There will never actually be a woolly mammoth,
No, of course there
according
won't
to
be.
Josh.
Of course there won't be, but they've got to stop advertising it that way. And also, you're not going to get the funding that you need if you go, we're going to bring back the woolly mammoth, and people go, all right, I'll give you a few million, and it's going to be a woolly mammoth. Yeah, well, yeah. Well, you said, well, is it going to be a woolly
Yeah.
mammoth or not?
Yeah.
Well, we can't actually. Well, there's your funding pulled.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we would, as I think the people like us,
Mm.
I think we would all put a pound in,
Yeah,
wouldn't we?
yeah.
We would all be like, woolly mammoth, look, everybody's gone, yeah, I'd put a pound in. And if we all did that,
Yeah, no. Sometimes you do. You just go.
but then, like
It's
you say,
just-
if they're gone, well,
Yeah, but
it would be.
listen, I'd still take a hairy elephant. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
I would still take a hairy elephant off your hands. Sometimes you just want to fuck with shit and just be like, come on.
See what happens.
But it feels like they only do that with stuff that's going to kill everybody, like destroy the planet.
Yeah,
they're
they
like-
got to stop with the
Do you
robots.
remember when they brought out that Hadron Collider? Is that what it's called? And they were like, we're doing this. There's a chance that we might create like a black hole or something. It's very unlikely. But we just want to fucking
See what happens?
see what happens. And that could have been it.
Could have been.
They could have destroyed the solar system.
Yeah. That stuff's too big for me to think
They
about.
did
I
the
don't-
same thing with the atomic bomb, didn't they? They were like, this might we're going to blow up this bomb, test this bomb out. We don't know what's going to happen, really.
Yeah, this we thing, innit?
Yeah.
Who's we?
Yeah.
Who are you? I
But-
mean, Josh is outed himself. He's in it.
But woolly mammoth, yeah, go on, no, yeah, go on, have a look, have a go at that. See what we can do. I like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hoverballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, let's make some fucking hoverballs.
Yeah, I think the robots have got to stop though.
Go on, what's your problem with robots?
It's getting too much.
Why? What's wrong with them?
They're these, humanoid.
I like the
looking-
robots. I'm into the robots.
No,
I don't think that. I don't mean
they're
the
going to turn
human-
against us.
Right, that's fine. Calm down, Sarah Connor.
They'll turn the winds against us.
But yeah, that's weird. I don't. the human robot thing is unnecessary.
That's what I'm saying.
That's sci-fi. That's people getting excited about sci-fi. But like a robot farmer doesn't have to look like a human, but it could just be a machine.
Yeah, but what about all the farmers?
We don't work as hard anymore.
But would they still get paid for it, or is it just gone to the
Yeah.
robot people? Are they
No,
pocketing all the money?
No, you get paid for it. You buy the robots. They work.
I don't like it.
I
I
do.
don't like it. I don't even like the self-checkout in Sainsbury's.
Oh, I think
It's
I
too
think
much.
it's great. I know what point you're making about
Don't like it.
robots going to put stuff out of work.
But
But let's get rid of money then.
okay. Right.
If we've just got robots doing everything, nobody needs to be paid for anything anymore, and everything's
Well,
in an
just sit
abundance.
about.
We won't just sit about. No, we'll read up on the Punic Wars and stuff.
Okay. Right, we're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back with a Buckley's Law feature.
Okie dokie, time for Buckley's Law.
Now that's music.
Yeah, I'm thinking of changing, just maybe for this week, changing this from Buckley's Law to David's Law.
Oh, okay.
Because we've got David here, who's got a list of, he's got a whole
Perfect.
manifesto.
I'll switch my iPad off.
And we will decide whether we agree. This is the segment where we discuss new laws that we will pass when we're in power.
Well, when I'm in power, I think if you check the poll.
People are idiots. People voted for Hitler. You can keep your laws coming in by emailing the Buckleys at platformmedia.uk or by messaging us at the Buckleys Pod on Instagram and TikTok. Anyway, this week on David's Law.
Let's do it.
This is from David. 1. People wearing Crocs who are over the age of 10. That's fair enough. They're silly. They're silly.
Listen, I get
You
it.
do see them and you go, you grow up.
It's a stupid shoe.
It's like they might as well just be wearing jelly sandals.
It's a stupid shoe. I'm with you. I don't own a pair of Crocs.
No, but you have the same size feet as the boys.
My kids have got Crocs.
And they're both over the age of 10.
Yeah, but they got them. No, they didn't.
No.
But what I will tell you is, see if you're nipping out, taking the bins out. They're easy.
Slippers. That's what me and the
I
rest
do
of the
have
grown-up
slippers.
world.
Yeah, now I do have slippers.
Mhm.
I get, all right, yeah, no, I'm with you. Fine.
Yeah, let's get
I've
it.
seen adults wearing Crocs, and I do think,
Yeah, you do
especially
think-
like grown women,
Yeah.
like pink
Like,
Crocs.
I get it.
No.
I get it.
Yeah, fuck off.
Listen, we've all given up to a certain extent,
Yeah, I get it.
but
yeah,
we don't have to go that far down
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bottom of the
yeah.
barrel, do we?
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Okay. Tick.
People wearing socks with flip-flops.
James Buckley.
Go on, what?
You wear socks with flip-flops all the time?
I don't wear socks with flip-flops. I don't wear flip-flops.
Sliders,
I
whatever.
wear sliders.
It's flip-flops.
Number 3, people calling flip-flops sliders. That's what it says here. Now, David, the flip-flop and the slider are two different things.
They're not,
The
mate.
flip-flop goes through in your toes.
It's called a thong.
That's what they call it in America,
Thongs.
in Australia.
Yeah, thongs.
They go in your toes. They're those Havaiana sort of.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That would freak me out if I
That's
wore
the
those.
holiday, though. You
Yeah.
got to wear that on holiday.
I wear sliders.
Yeah, but you wear them about the house.
Yeah, because they're better than Crocs.
All right.
But
But you do wear socks with them.
I do wear socks with them. Yeah, comfortable.
Okay. So what you saying? No,
I'm saying no to that one just because I'm in power and I can do what I want.
I'm way on that
I
one.
get your point now.
Yeah,
When you said
yeah. There you go. That's why you don't put him in power.
Right,
You
okay.
see? You see?
People who use the term Sophie's choice. No choice they are making is close to the choice she had to make.
Yeah, you're sitting at fucking Miller and Carter. Oh, do I get the fish or the burger? Oh, it's
Well, you
like
get the steak if
Sophie's.
you're at Miller and Carter.
Well, I don't really like the steak.
Then why are you doing? What are you doing in Miller and Carter? You stupid bitch.
Because you make me go there all the
Yeah,
time.
because I like to have a steak.
Right, and I like fish.
Anyway, Sophie's choice.
It's like, so people do say that though, don't they? Oh,
Yeah.
it's like Sophie's choice.
Finally, David says, people who don't acknowledge that The Sopranos is the greatest show ever made.
Oh, David.
Look at
Come
Dave-
on.
Look at David trying to get his
Trying to get in with us.
trying to get his laws pushed through there.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
David, you got it.
The
You got
Sopranos
it.
is the greatest television show ever made.
Yeah, it's
Fact.
the greatest drama ever made.
Television show.
Well, if we're talking about all genres, there's obviously a better TV show.
Is there?
Yeah,
Oh, Only Fools and Horses.
that's up there, sure. That's up there.
Why, what are you thinking?
Zapped. Thank you very much, David, for those.
Hey, I was in Zapped.
You were in Zapped. Yeah, you were, weren't you?
I was in an episode of Zapped.
Thank you very much for those, David. We will consider them.
No, I
they're all
think
good.
I think they're all fine.
Yeah, they're all fine. They're all fine.
I don't need to argue about any of them.
I'm happy not wearing socks with flip-flops. It is a stupid look.
It is.
It is a stupid look.
Yeah.
And if it was against the law, I'd probably benefit from it.
There you go.
Thanks, David. You're one of us. Listen, right? That was the podcast. We did our best. Thank you very much for
And
listening.
sometimes your best isn't good enough, and that's all right.
Yeah?
That's all right.
As long as you've done your best.
Mm,
That's what I always say to my boys whenever they're doing anything.
yeah.
I don't expect you to...
Be the best.
No, I always tell them I don't expect you to be the best. In fact, that's what I tell them. I don't expect you to be the best. I expect you to work the hardest. That's what I always tell them.
Okay.
There's no excuse for not working hard. Otherwise you end up with this. You end up with eras as a theme for a podcast episode. Remember, you can get in touch with your stories and questions by emailing the Buckleys at platformmedia.uk, or you can message us at the Buckleys Pod on Instagram and TikTok. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to the show on Spotify. We're nearly got 30,000 subscribers on Spotify. We've got way more listeners. We've not got that many subscribers. So if you do want to subscribe, that'd be great. It does helps out a lot. And if you're feeling extra generous, leave us a little 5-star review. You can comment on episodes on Spotify as well, and I'll read them all. And in fact, one person did put, "What's the point of this? Nobody reads these." And the irony there was that I was sat there reading it. All that is left is for Claire to say,
See you next Thursday.
see you next Thursday, guys. Yeah, it was a podcast. Yeah, Chiefs, got it, Chiefs.
Go on the Chiefs.